Which is better, the Alcatel 3V 2019 or the LG Stylo 5? Well, in this video, we're going to find out. Hi everyone, this is Kevin here, coming at you with my comparison between the Alcatel 3V 2019 and the LG Stylo 5. Now, the Alcatel 3V was recently launched, and the LG Stylo 5 came out in June. Now, pricing is always changing for both of these phones, so definitely make sure to check out the link in the video description. In addition to that, both of these phones are offered on carriers. So for example, at Metro by T-Mobile, you can get both of these phones for free if you're porting in from another carrier. So there's always different promotions going on for the various carriers with these devices, so definitely make sure to utilize those if it makes sense. Now, the Alcatel 3V features a 6.7-inch display at 720p with LCD display technology with a 240 ppi and an 18:9 aspect ratio. And the LG Stylo 5 features a smaller display at 6.2 inches, but it is 1080p. It features LCD technology, it features a 390 ppi, and has an 18:9 aspect ratio. So both displays do look good on both devices. However, you're definitely getting a much higher resolution with the LG Stylo 5, and I definitely think the Stylo 5 has the better looking display of the two. But without a doubt, the display on the Alcatel 3V really is massive because the LG Stylo 5 is already a really large phone. But you can see, putting these two phones up next to each other, that the Alcatel 3V's display is even bigger. Now, with both phones, you do not have a notch at the top. Instead, you do have decently large bezels on the top and bottom on both devices. So the designs of these devices are actually quite similar. Now, up top on the Alcatel 3V, we have an 8 megapixel front-facing camera, and the LG Stylo 5 has a 5 megapixel front-facing camera. Now, with both phones, you're getting 32 gigabytes of internal storage with SD card expansion. Neither of these two devices offer wireless charging, but they both have fingerprint sensors on the back. So we'll try those out right now. And in addition to the fingerprint sensors, you also get facial recognition with the two devices. So that's also an option to use to unlock your phone. But we'll try out the fingerprint sensor on the 3V right now. And that was really quick. And now we'll try out the fingerprint sensor on the LG Stylo 5. And that was very fast too. So great, fast, responsive, and accurate fingerprint sensors on both phones. Now also on the back are the camera modules on both devices. Now on the Alcatel 3V, we have a dual camera setup with a 16 megapixel main camera and a 5 megapixel secondary depth sensing camera. So you do get portrait mode with the rear camera on this device. And with the LG Stylo 5, we just have one camera on the back, and it's a 13 megapixel camera, and there is no portrait mode with the rear camera on the phone. Now on both devices, we do have portrait mode with the front-facing cameras, so that's pretty interesting how the LG Stylo 5 has a front-facing portrait mode, but no portrait mode on the rear. Now both devices feature 3 gigabytes of RAM. With the Alcatel 3V, we have the MediaTek Helio P22 processor, and with the LG Stylo 5, we have the Qualcomm Snapdragon 450. Now, I did run an Antutu benchmark test for both devices, and these are the scores. So with the Alcatel 3V 2019, I got a score of 90, 94, 9. And with the LG Stylo 5, I got a score of 82, 71, 1. So pretty close benchmark scores with both phones. I'll be honest, neither of these two scores are overly impressive. But from my experience of using both phones on a day-to-day basis, the performance of the two devices is at least good enough where it's practical and usable, but definitely compared to a flagship phone like the Galaxy S10 or LG G8, these phones are nowhere near that level. Now, I definitely recommend that you download the Antutu Benchmark app on your phone and run the test on your own device to see if the score on your personal device is better or worse compared to these scores. Definitely, if these scores are better than the scores on your current phone, then either of these two devices would give you a performance upgrade. Now, video recording on both phones maxes out at 1080p at 30 frames per second. With the Alcatel 3V, we're getting a beefy 4000 mAh internal battery, and with the LG Stylo 5, we're getting a decently large 3500 mAh internal battery. So the battery on the Alcatel 3V is 500 milliamp hours larger in capacity, compared to the LG Stylo 5. Now both phones run Android 9 Pie. We're getting a pretty close to stock version of the software with the Alcatel 3V, but LG's version of Android. But with the LG Stylo 5, you are getting LG Skin here, so it's really up to you which you prefer. The good news though is that with both devices, the software is very well optimized and does run very well. Now that we've gone over the specifications of these two phones, let's compare the hardware. So we already talked a lot about the front here with the 6.7-inch display at 720p with the Alcatel 3V and the 6.2-inch display at 1080p with the LG Stylo 5. Now on the left side of the two devices, we have on the Alcatel 3V the slot for the microSD card and SIM card, and with the LG Stylo 5 we have the volume buttons and we have the slot for the SD card and SIM card. Now the materials are definitely a bit different on the sides here, so with the Alcatel 3V we have an all plastic build, but with the LG Stylo 5 we do have a nice metal band running around the side of the phone. So I definitely like that, and it does give the LG Stylo 5 a nice premium touch. Now on the right side of the two phones, on the Alcatel 3V, we have the volume button and power button, and on the LG Stylo 5, we just have the power button. Then taking a look at the top of the two devices, they both feature noise canceling microphones. Then on the Alcatel 3V, we have the 3.5mm headphone jack, and we have the IR blaster. Then on the bottom of the two phones, they both feature the speaker and microphone, and the USB-C port for charging and data transfer. But with the LG Stylo 5, we also have the 3.5mm headphone jack at the bottom, and we have the stylus. So that's why this phone is called the LG Stylo 5, is due to the stylus. Now in my full LG Stylo 5 review video, I talk a lot about this feature. So if you do want to learn more about it, definitely check out that video. But you do have the ability to use the stylus to take notes. You can use it to just navigate around the device in general. And it really does come in handy, and it's a very unique feature that you don't find with any budget phones besides the Stylo line, actually. As far as I can think of, it's basically the LG Stylo series of phones and the Samsung Galaxy Note that offer a built-in stylus. Now, there's no doubt that this stylus is certainly nowhere near the level of sophistication with the Galaxy Note 10, but that's understandable since this is a budget phone. So if you think you're really going to use the stylus, then the LG Stylo 5 is probably the better option of these two devices because that really is a unique feature. And then on the backside of the two devices, they both feature a reflective plastic material. They both have the camera module, flash, and fingerprint sensor, and both devices do pick up a decent amount of fingerprints. Now for this next comparison, we're going to see which device is louder. Now I have a decibel meter here, and I'm going to set this so that it picks up the max level. And I'm going to play the first 7 seconds of a video on both devices. So let's get started. Visible has some really exciting offers for late 2019. In this video, we're going to be going over them. So I got a maximum of 99.2 with the Alcatel 3V. Now we'll do the LG Stylo 5. Visible has some really exciting offers for late 2019. In this video, we're going to be going over them. And I got 99.3 with the LG Stylo 5. So pretty much the same level of loudness with both devices. Next, I want to see which device is the better download and upload speeds. So both phones are connected to the same Wi-Fi network. So I'm going to tap on go and we'll see which phone is better with my network. Now I do pay for 150 megabits per second down and 30 megabits per second up. And it looks like with the Alcatel 3V, we're getting much faster download speeds here. I'm not sure why one says Cox and the other says Sparklight, but they're both connected to the same exact router. And it actually looks like, never mind. So the LG Stylo 5 actually got the faster download speed of the two, but they are pretty close and pretty comparable. And it looks like for the upload, it's the same way. But that's really interesting because in another video, I compared the Alcatel 3V to the Samsung Galaxy A20 and did a Wi-Fi comparison test with those. And the Alcatel 3V was consistent with what we're seeing here, but the Galaxy A20 was significantly slower. So LG and Alcatel must put really good Wi-Fi radios in both phones. Let's now do a speed test comparison between these two devices. So let's start by pulling up the camera. So 1, 2, 3, go. Looks like the Alcatel 3V was quicker at pulling up the camera. Let's now pull up Google Chrome. 1, 2, 3, go. Looks like it was about equal on both devices. Let's go to yahoo.com. 1, 2, 3, go. Looks like the Alcatel 3V was a little bit quicker at pulling up Yahoo. Let's go to Engadget. 1, 2, 3, go. Looks like in this test, the LG Stylo 5 is a little bit quicker at pulling up Engadget. And you can see here in this side-by-side how much brighter and clearer the display is on the LG Stylo 5. So both devices have their brightness turned up to the maximum. And without a doubt, you are getting a better looking display with the Stylo 5. But here's Engadget. Scrolling's very smooth on both phones, so very nice. So I don't think it's totally clear cut here which phone is the better one of the two. I think both devices offer their own benefits and compromises. Definitely some of my favorite things with the Alcatel 3V include the large display size on here, as well as the camera quality. I think those two things are probably the best and biggest highlights with this device. Whereas with the Stylo 5, the biggest benefit is the display quality. So this display is definitely higher quality than what you're getting with the Alcatel 3V, but it is a little bit smaller. And then the standout feature with the LG Stylo 5 definitely has to be the stylus. So it's really up to you to kind of decide which phone you think offers the features that are best for your lifestyle. I don't really know how you use your phone on a day-to-day basis, but I know for me, cameras are really important, and because of that, I personally would go with the Alcatel 3V. Now I can definitely survive and live with the LG Stylo 5, but I think having portrait mode on here really makes the Alcatel 3V set itself apart from the LG Stylo 5. And in addition to that, without portrait mode, the camera still is better on the Alcatel 3V, so that's just another benefit with the phone. But let me know what you think about both devices here and which one you personally would go with if you had to choose one or the other. And if you happen to own either of these two phones, let me know about that as well. I think they're both very good options, and in this video I pointed out the benefits of both devices so that you can make an educated purchase decision. But thanks for watching, everybody. This is Kevin here. Make sure to check out the links in the video description if you want to check out either of these two phones, and I'll see you in the next one.